Hello everyone, welcome back to Vince TGP. My name is Vince, and today we are talking about the most classic Disney movie of all time.
Snow
White. Well, no, it's not that one.
Frozen.
Yeah,
Oh, Frozen.
Not that one either.
Got a Little Mermaid.
No, okay, guys, come on. It's Cinderella. Obviously. I actually don't know how many of you have watched the original Cinderella at this point, because it came out in 1950. But if you had a childhood like mine, then you remember the original Cinderella as an absolute masterpiece. Apparently MGM Studios had a childhood like mine because 5 years after the original, they made a live-action adaptation of the story, thus inspiring, as far as I can count, 25 movies with just the name Cinderella in the title. That's more than Sharknado and The Fast and the Furious combined, I think. These films feature the likes of, and yes, I do have this pulled up because it was too much for me to remember, A Cinderella Story, If the Shoe Fits, A Cinderella Story, Once Upon a Song, Elle, A Modern Cinderella Story, Another Cinderella Story, I am not making this shit up, Cinderella, an Italian take called Cenerentola 80, Cinderella 2021, Cinderella 2015, Cinderella 2000, which is about government laws restricting sex and romance, and my absolute favorite of the bunch, Cinderfella. Oh, there's also these. That being said, the movie I've picked for us today is none of these. The movie I've picked for us today goes by the name Happily Never After. Now you might be thinking to yourself, Vincent, that doesn't really sound like a Cinderella movie. And you'd be wrong. I would never lead you astray. This masterpiece, which stars Cinderella, boasts a 4.5 out of 10 on IMDb and a whopping 6% on Rotten Tomatoes. This is gonna be a good movie. Anyway, as we jump into this movie, I would like to take this time to remind you to subscribe to my channel, like my video, leave a comment down below. Make sure to turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of my future uploads if you like this one. I'd really appreciate it. So the first very striking thing to me about this movie is that it was apparently made by Lionsgate, who has some pretty good movies in their repertoire. We're talking the likes of John Wick, Saw, Knives Out. Some pretty great movies for the studio behind Happily Never After. Following this line of confusion, there are some huge names in this movie, especially in the world of voice acting. We got the likes of Patrick Warburton, George Carlin, and of course, SpongeBob Kenny SquarePants. Yes, that's his real name. Don't look it up. So we're starting off strong with this movie with the first 2 minutes being credits playing in white text on a black screen as nothing happens in the background. These people worked hard on this movie. You will acknowledge them. Once we do start rolling, though, we're in pretty intense circumstances with this evil witch lady giving a speech about how all the good in the world will be finally eradicated to the most generic group of bad guys I've ever seen, or so the movie wants us to think. Because before the title card even plays, we are immediately interrupted with narration.
Hold it! Would the owner of a light blue coach with Narnia plates please move your vehicle?
The narrator essentially goes on to tell us that our story takes place where all other fairy tale stories do in fairy tale world. This world essentially is watched over by this benevolent wizard who is played by this guy.
Dirty fucking crook.
The wizard essentially makes sure that every fairy tale goes exactly by the book with no deviations from the original timeline and ensuring that good and evil remain in balance. Very basic stuff. Next we get introduced to all of our characters. Turns out evil witch lady is evil stepmother. We got 2 evil stepsisters. We got a fairy godmother.
I think she's a couple Hansel short of a Gretel.
Not sure what that means. We got a not-so-charming prince, our leading lady Cinderella, and the one, the only, Rick. Yup, that's our narrator. Brother's looking straight at it in sync. I actually learned that Rick has a bit of a crush on Ella, but she's obsessed with the not-so-charming prince from earlier. It's probably about time that I mentioned that throughout this entire movie, they call Cinderella Ella. Get it? Cinderella. It's a brand new movie, guys. Anyway, you know the drill. Cinderella gets invited to the ball, but evil stepmother gives her a list of chores the size of the Torah. None of this is new to us. So even though it's explained that this wizard has like a super important job watching over fairy tale world, and there's a super important event coming up, at this point in the movie, he's just like,
I'm off to Scotland.
Leaving his notoriously mischievous henchmen to watch over the fate of fairy tale world. So Rick is coming home to his 3 Italian dads? Maybe? I don't really know. They make some kind of weird jokes about Ella being Rick's special friend.
She's a friend.
Ah, oui. I know what kind of friend you're talking about.
I need a friend like that, my friend, I tell you, huh?
With friends like that, right? Who needs enemies?
So we cut back to our boys Monk and Mumbo. They're watching over Fairy Tale World. They're making sure all the stories are going in the right order and everything's staying by the book. But Mumbo is getting pretty bored. So he starts playing around a little bit and knocks the magic TV off its stand. Very relatable, if you ask me. So anyway, Monk starts completely overreacting, screaming about how this is very dangerous TV magic, just in time for Step Hag to start a scheming.
Powerful magic.
So then there's this really uncomfortable scene where the evil stepmother is trying to seduce these two tiny magical creatures.
Come here, cutie. Show me those magic arts. Come on, big boy. Teach me.
Yeah. So anyway, Mother Gothel gets a hold of the staff, and this lady figures out how to use magic in about 2 seconds. So the evil stepmother starts doing some real evil stuff, basically creating a ton of anomalies by tipping the scales towards evil. Rapunzel falls out of her tower. Jack gets stepped on by the giant. Rumpelstiltskin gets the baby? Uh-oh.
Rock-a-bye-bye, baby.
So the evil step hag actually ends up ruining Cinderella's main canon event, and again, just knowing everything about this newfound magic, summons all the bad guys in the land.
I've never seen that before. Come on, let's go.
We got the big bad wolf. We got the giant. We got the witches from Hotel Transylvania, I think. And of course, these ogre bunnies. You remember those guys. So Frida starts giving her speech about all the good in the world being eradicated. Side note, I'm a little worried about some of the stuff that Frida is promising in this speech. Namely,
Little girls who get eaten by wolves.
guess she's very on board with child murder. I don't know. So the bad guys are causing absolute chaos in the castle, and Ella's like, you know what? We should go find the prince. I'm sure he'll save the day or something. As you can imagine, Rick is not too fond of that idea.
He's a pretty boy. He just does whatever his little book says.
Anyway, after his little outburst, Cinderella runs off to find the prince on her own, and Rick lets her because he's the worst. After walking through the woods for a while, she runs into our boys Monk and Mumbo and very quickly accepts that they know who she is.
Cinderella?
How do you know me? Never mind.
So this next part's a little troubling as far as me rooting for our boy Rick. He's just kind of like serving and hanging out with the big bad wolf and his posse. And just like, I don't know, why are you so nonchalant about this situation, Rick? Aren't most of your friends, like, dead? Eventually, our weird little trio stumbles upon the 7 dwarves, who are far less friendly than normal, and apparently have been preparing for a battle with the bad guys for generations.
We've been getting ready for the big one for years.
They have a very, very long setup for this very boring battle scene where Ella kicks a little bit of ass and starts to wonder if maybe she could be something more than just a damsel in distress. Also, during this fight scene, we learn that the head dwarf's name is Duke. Duke the Dwarf? So that's weird. Anyway, the dwarf fortress is not holding up and things are looking pretty grim until the one, the only, Rick comes to evacuate Snow White on his sick-ass broom. I did not mean to say Snow White. It's at this point in the movie that Rumpelstiltskin asks the question we've all been wondering for decades. Why does the stepmother hate Cinderella so much? And she says the following.
I don't know. Because she's gorgeous? Because she's too stupid to know her place? Because she's so cheerful about everything? Because if she wins, she'll be the queen, and I will be the stepmom forever?
So, I mean, stepmother to the queen doesn't sound like such a bad deal to me, but what do I know? So anyway, Rick proposes the idea of trying to stop the evil step hag without the prince, and Ella kind of starts cuddling up on him, so he crashes the broom. Just kidding. They ran out of magic gas or whatever. Ella gets pissed at Rick because she thinks he did it on purpose because he's just some bum trying to take the credit for saving the day. Blah, blah, blah. When are we going to see some romance?
Prince, you're just... Rick.
Sorry about that. Are you...
Fine. It was fine. I mean, I'm fine.
I guess we should look for the...
Prince.
I guess you could call that romance? So because he loves her so much, Rick goes out and tries to find the prince on his own. While he's gone, Ella starts wondering if maybe she wants some Pickle Rick instead of that pompous prick. Speaking of His Highness, Rick actually just finds him sitting alone in the middle of the woods with his horse that looks just like him. So Cinderella's talking to Monk and Mambo, and she's starting to wonder if she might want more out of life than just getting married to the prince and having a happily ever after. Then, step witch with lasers. So anyway, Frida the Wicked yoinks Cinderella, and Rick chases after her, followed by the prince on his apparently human-powered Clydesdale. Like, dude, could you not go any faster? I mean, what do I know? Maybe Rick just runs as fast as a horse. So the prince ends up going to save Ella on his own because it's his destiny or whatever, and gets his ass kicked immediately. So you know what time it is. It's Rick time. It's all part of his plan to save Cinderella. But, Rick says some stuff here that's probably grounds for cancellation.
Here's, to evil. To eating grandmas, stealing babies, cooking little kids. Here's to the good stuff.
So anyway, Pickle Rick shows up just in time to stop Frida from torturing Cinderella and apparently show off his reflexes because, oh my gosh, that dodge. Anyway, the stepmother's kicking everyone's ass this way to Sunday until Mumbo, the absolute legend, fucking kills her. Nah, just kidding. She's got a magic broom. She's fine. But now, Frida's got Ella cornered and Rick's down for the count. What's she gonna do? I'll tell you what she's gonna do. She's gonna kick Frida's ass because she don't need no man. Kind of. This is a kid's princess movie, so she does end up with Rick. So anyway, the movie ends happily ever after with Rumpelstiltskin co-parenting, the wizard returning to a normal fairy tale world, and Cinderella marrying Rick while he is dressed in the most ridiculous outfit I have ever seen. So Rick says,
maybe it's not the Cinderella tale you're used to, but personally, I like this one better.
Like, the whole first third of the movie was just Cinderella plus Rick. Just one final side note. Look at the back of Cinderella's dress. That thing has got to weigh like 70 pounds. So I know I'm supposed to be crapping on this movie, but it was actually alright. I had a good time watching it. I really can't figure out why it's rated so low on Rotten Tomatoes, but I also like Crystal Skull. So anyways, if you guys want to check out this movie, you absolutely should. It's free with ads on YouTube, so definitely go give it a Wait.